What's good, internet? Jake here, dumb as ever, and New York Toy Fair is my Super Bowl. It's a yearly event where the biggest and newest names in the toy world show off what they're working on, not only to impress the public, but also to impress retailers specifically interested in stocking their toy aisles. It is always fun to see what new toys are being cooked up, especially for properties I love like the Transformers. So that's what today's video is gonna be all about. All of the new Transformers toys shown at Toy Fair 2026. And I'm also going to cover a few other toy lines that caught my interest. So if you love Transformers and toys in general, this is gonna be an exciting video for you. And if you enjoy this type of content, please consider liking and subscribing. It ain't extra. Okay, let's start with the line I'm unironically most excited about, Transformers Cyberworld. I did a video covering Cyberworld a couple months ago, and I've fallen in love with the series and toy line. Something about them just really brings me back to my roots, and I love what they're going for. I was very excited to see what Hasbro was cooking up, and the Cyberworld reveals did not disappoint. On display were the figures for the newly announced Season 2, which has the subtitle of Energon Surge. What this appears to mean for the toy line is a high amount of transparent plastic, which I personally love, but as we all know, this is a type of plastic that can be more brittle and tends to break more easily. But only a few figures are mainly made out of clear plastic. Some of them, like the two Optimus Prime figures, are actually re-releases from Season 1, but given these clear plastic bodies, these will probably be passes for me. I don't think I really need these guys. There is also a new character that looks exactly like Tigatron, but is apparently meant to be Cheetor. I don't know why they made him white instead of cheetah color, but whatever. It's kind of bizarre, but that's Cyberworld for you. There's also a new figure of Megatron, who now turns into a drill tank sort of thing. You can really see the gimmick of the line with him, as he comes with several clear pieces that are probably removable. At Toy Fair there was also a Ratchet that may turn into a helicopter, but he didn't get any proper promo images. Scaling up, we have the new set of Ultimate Cyber Changers. For Season 1, the only Ultimate Cyber Changer was the Fat Megatron, which was a retool of an old movie Hound mold. But for Season 2, this price point has been greatly expanded, and had 3 new bots shown off. First, we have Hound, who has some sort of Yeti theme going on. You can see sculpted fur all over him, and he even has a little beard and Yeti fangs, as well as ice-themed Energon pieces. All of the Ultimate Cyber Changers have a gimmick where their chests can open up, revealing a T-Cog or maybe some sort of matrix. Hound turns into a large snow vehicle that a smaller figure can stand on. Next up, we have Shockwave, who turns into a Spinosaurus Dimetrodon hybrid sort of dinosaur thing. Fans have been wanting a Spino-themed Shockwave for a long time, so it's incredibly cool that Cyberworld is kind of giving us that. I think he looks really good, and he reminds me of Prime Shockwave. The Spino mode is equally cool and adorable, and the Energon pieces really add to his look. Finally, we have the Ultimate Cyber Changer I'm most excited for, Scourge, who turns into a ghostly pirate ship. He has such a good robot mode. I love the front part of the ship making up his chest, and the pirate hat and eye patch are just perfect. In his pirate ship mode, a normal Cyber Changer can stand on the back, which is cute. I can't help but feel Hasbro saw Metal Cardbot's Black Hook and decided to take a stab at a pirate ship transformer, because to my knowledge, there has literally never been one beforehand. I'm not saying this is a bad thing, by the way. This is exactly why I love Metal Cardbot, because it is forcing new ideas and competition for Hasbro. This is quite literally a two-cake situation for me. We also have a couple big boys. Deep Sea Explorer Soundwave is taking up the same price point as Grimlock from Season 1. This version of Soundwave turns into some sort of monstrous squid creature, which is incredibly weird and cool. Its robot mode really harkens back to G1 with a bit of an update. I love the Soundwave teeth he has on his face. I think that looks really cool, and I hope they move when he talks in the show. I do think his purple squid head is a bit ugly, but based on pictures, I think it may be removable. I will say he isn't as cool as I was hoping. I feel like the tentacle effect in his monster mode is a bit weak, and I don't know, something about him is just missing. I'm wondering if he'll have a mecha mode like Grimlock did. I think that would be pretty cool. Finally, we have Power Spark Bumblebee, or as I like to call him, Big Ass Bumblebee. It's been a while since we got a Big Ass Bumblebee, so he's kind of fun to see, but compared to his predecessor Scorponok, I think he's a lot worse. I really cannot tell what his vehicle mode is supposed to be, but it does look like you can have a normal Cyber Changer pilot him, so that's kind of fun. I don't know, if I like the story of this form in the show, I might get it, but I really would have preferred a new large character over a giant Bumblebee. And those are the Cyberworld reveals, at least for now. I'm really excited to see what they cook up for Season 2. to, and I hope the show continues on after it. I think a combo of Cyberworld and a show based on Skybound could make for a strong media dynamic for Transformers, giving adult fans a more serious show that reflects a lot of Generations designs, while Cyberworld shows the kids a mix of G1 and completely fresh ideas. I think that would be a really great dynamic to have in the franchise. Alright, next up we're going to be discussing the Studio Series reveals from Toy Fair. Though in traditional fashion they leaked the day before the show. This wave features some definite hits and misses, and it's been a massive topic of discourse online. Let's just start with the low lights of the wave. Wheeljack and Sunstreaker are getting reissued, with little to no changes from the Autobot 5-pack. I personally don't like how either of these look. Wheeljack's chest is way too square, and his vehicle mode is so devoid of detail in a way I feel is less cartoon accurate and more cheap. While Sunstreaker barely looks like the cartoon model, and his vehicle mode could definitely be more accurate. It's wild to me that the designers said they saw no room for improvement on either. Like, how do you look at the new Seeker mold with how incredibly accurate it is, and think this Sunstreaker is on the same level? Speaking of the Seekers, Skywarp looks incredible. This new Seeker mold is perfection. I really need to get my hands on Thundercracker, and I'm so glad Skywarp is getting a normal release. These things are a pain to get as is, but I'm really happy they're not tying any of the main 3 Seekers to a dumb 2-pack or something, though I guess we don't know about Starscream yet. But yeah, Skywarp looks good, though he's got such a big frown on his face. Like, come on, cheer up fella, you have a really good color scheme. Shockwave is also kinda getting a new toy. It's not really new at all, more so a retool of the old Siege Shockwave. They've removed a lot of his greeble detail and have changed a couple things to make him more toon accurate. I can't lie, I think he looks great. My only complaint is that I wish he was a bit bigger. Soundwave and Megatron absolutely mog him height-wise, though I guess Shockwave is science maxing on them. I do love that he comes with a little version of his blaster mode, and his submarine vehicle mode can still be turned upside down to look like a blaster. They even added a feature where you can attach Shockwave to Bruticus, which is pretty fun and surprising. Kudos to the team for adding in that bit of play. Astrotrain is the biggest point of discussion online. He kinda failed to meet expectations, especially after the slam dunks that are Soundwave and the Seeker mold. Let's start with the positives. His locomotive mode is one of the best train modes we've seen in years. I love the smoke blast effect, and the fact that he comes with the blast effects for the back of the train is great. Blast effects kind of disappeared for a bit, even though I think they should be a staple. I think this train mode will look extra good with the recent timelines Bumblebee and Optimus. The spaceship is a bit of a mess, especially towards the back end, but I think it is good enough. Triple changers are tricky because it seems really hard for Hasbro to make them in modern generations. I think there's a big issue with balancing the budget for triple changers, which is why I think they didn't even try with the Bumblebee movie Decepticons. And I also think that explains Astrotrain's robot mode, which to me looks kinda bad. I don't like the proportions of the body at all. He looks far too thin. The leg kibble is also very unseemly and obvious. Being fair to the designers, Astrotrain is a bit of an awkward looking guy regardless. But why couldn't they even paint his ab section? Especially because it doesn't seem like he has many paint apps at all. I also feel like they're flip-flopping between the detailed and cartoon looks. Personally, I prefer the toys based on the cartoon movie to look like the cartoon they're based on, even if that means somewhat flat, simple-looking robots. But like I've said, Soundwave and the Seekers are rocking that look, while Astrotrain has a bit more greebling than I would prefer. It feels weird to be overly negative in modern day. Transformers have quite literally never been more well-made or accurate. I really believe we're in a golden age of toys. But Hasbro is still a company and we are still paying customers. We don't owe them anything. And if they want to continue to raise the prices of these toys, I think it is completely fair to criticize and nitpick. On that note, they made a Glep Shido and he's so awesome. Kranex looks absolutely great. They nailed the look of his character and gave him an alt mode based on some comic book concept art. I really never felt like this guy would transform at all. Like the Quintessons, I just took him as a robotic sentient being, not a transformer. But hey, you have the option if you want it. I have little to no issue with this guy. It will probably pick him up if I see him. The last big reveal was the roleplay Matrix of Leadership, which honestly looks great. I think they did an excellent job recreating the look of the Matrix. The inner part glowing looks so good, and opening it causes the Matrix to play the touch, which is probably enough to bring a 40-year-old man to tears. Not me though. I am not really a roleplay toy guy, but I appreciate the work they put in here. The price is high as hell, which is unfortunate. Like I said, this was a mixed bag wave, but this is just the start of the 40th anniversary of the movie, so I'm sure sure there are more goodies in store. Now we have the random bits from Toy Fair. Not a lot here, but there's some stuff worth discussing. These first two aren't exactly new, I just haven't talked about them yet. The Timelines 2-pack featuring Bumblebee and Megatron. Inspired by like Japanese vibes, I guess. They look really great though. Bumblebee has a little Naruto look going on. He transforms into a flying squirrel, which is just awesome, and totally unique. Megatron is the figure I'm really excited about though. He turns into a boar with a giant cannon on its back, which just looks awesome. But I really love his robot mode as well. He just looks strong and tough as hell. I think it looks so cool to a degree that I would honestly be down for a wild boar being his default alt mode. As weird as that would be, I'd prefer it over a tank anyway. Next we have a red repaint of the Twin Mill Hot Wheels collab figure, this time in fiery red. It looks excellent, and leaked listings have revealed the Hot Wheels collab is getting more figures, so a repaint is a great sign. We could be looking at an ongoing collab line, which would be really unique. It looks like Hasbro is continuing to target the sports fan market with Breakaway. No, not that one, this Breakaway, who looks like Orion Pax and transforms into a soccer ball. I think turning into any geometric shape is funny and cool no matter the context, so this will be a pickup for me. Breakaway is specifically a USA themed ball, and I'm curious if they'll do other countries. Yeah, I don't have much to say about this guy, he's literally a ball. Okay, the last actual Transformers thing I wanted to cover is Star Eagle, a red, white, and blue repaint of AirRaiser to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States. This has stirred up quite a bit of discourse like anything related to America, so here's my take on it. I'm not mad it exists. Hasbro is an American company, and they're obviously trying to appeal to their massive American consumer base. And a product like this, similar to the football helmets and Breakaway, is targeting the non-traditional Transformers fan. These exist to be a gift to your dad. I will say the toy itself looks terrible. The deco for it is using red, white, and blue, but neglects the red and white so hard that it's mostly blue. Unironically, it seems to have more gray than red. Apparently the figure looks a lot like an obscure Japanese character called Blue Bolt, which yeah, it does. So I guess if you want that, there you go. But if the goal was an American-themed Transformer, Hasbro failed. If you want some actual patriotic rep in the collection, I think Kingdom Skywarp, who transforms into a normal-looking bald eagle, looks much better. But yeah, that was Transformers Toy Fair offerings. I can't lie, it was pretty disappointing. The fact that the kids line is by far the most interesting thing they showed off is a bit weird. But they're really targeting G1 nostalgia right now, and I am personally not swayed by that. We're going to move on to several other toy lines I wanted to yap about, so if you're gonna dip out, I appreciate you, and maybe drop a like and subscribe. Metal Cardbot got a couple small updates. Thanks to Peggy Why, fellow YouTuber and toy journalist, for meeting with Agabus, who didn't have a booth at Toy Fair this year. So for the American release of Metal Cardbot, Series 1, which got delayed, should be finally shipping out in March, while Series 1.5, aka the rest of the Season 1 toys, will come out in the summer. And Series 2, aka the first half of Metal Cardbot S toys, will be launching in the fall, which is all very exciting. I know a lot of Westerners are itching for Season 2 toys specifically, so it's good to know that Season 2 stuff is quickly approaching. Peggy was also told that the pre-orders went really well, which is great to hear. I hope that success continues. For one last small update, we have some updated names for the Series 1.5 releases. Wild Guardy has become Wild Guardian, which makes sense to me. Mega Ambler has been renamed to Med Alert, which is a name I don't really like. It sounds way too close to Red Alert. I understand his name was never going to be Mega Ambler. It just sounds bizarre to a native English speaker, but Med Alert is low-key a terrible replacement name. Another head scratcher is Phoenix Fire being renamed to Firebuster. I don't even mind the name Firebuster, it's completely fine to me, but why change it at all? All of the other name changes have made sense to me so far besides this one. Thankfully the metal cards for their releases will be blank, so you can just call them whatever you want. But yeah, that's all the Metal Cardbot news I have. Jazzwares, of course, had a nice showing for their Five Nights at Freddy's line, featuring a lot of exciting new reveals. Let's start with the World of FNAF line, their $10 budget toy line, which is getting a sister location themed wave. We have all the usual suspects from that game, and they look great. I think Circus Baby and Ballora look a bit so-so, but I think for the price, they still look good. I really love that the jump scare feature causes their faces to open like the games. That's brilliant. We're also getting more set pieces to build the office from sister location, as well as a couple surprise characters like Lolbit and this baby thing. Overall, a very exciting showing for the world of FNAF. I'm even more excited for the Indo series, because they revealed the Glam Rocks, which I was not expecting, and man, they look fantastic. The Glam Rocks were famously done dirty by Funko, so seeing these amazing versions is great. The glossy plastic really works for the Glam Rocks specifically. Being the Indo series, you can swap and remove parts from the new Indo skeleton, and you can change them into their ruined versions, which also look great. They really improved their paint game for these ruined characters. I will say some of them are pretty inaccurate to the actual game, mostly due to the Indo system. For example, in the game, Freddy doesn't have a head, and Roxy doesn't have a face. But of course, with the Indo, they can't get rid of those elements, so they just removed her eyes. Despite these minor issues, I think Jazzwares knocked it out of the park with these figures, and I'm excited to pick them up. Indo series is also getting some more Vault exclusives. One pack features Shadow Bonnie, who is technically Neon Bonnie, but he's called Shadow Bonnie because Scott wanted to call it, I don't know, man. But it's a black repaint of Bonnie. And they're also getting a really exciting pack called Parts and Services, which features 2 extra Indo skeletons, some extra pieces, and these like fake cardboard boxes, which is kind of funny. This is kind of exactly what I was asking for. Since the Indo series sets come with 1 Indo skeleton and 2 sets of pieces for different characters, I have felt like it's kind of annoying that I can only have 1 character despite having all these extra pieces. So the Parts and Service pack is definitely fulfilling that need. Apparently it's going to be a Vault exclusive, which is kind of disappointing, but one of the designers on the FNAF team said that it's going to be made to order or constantly restocked. So hopefully it's not too much of a pain to get and you can get a couple of these sets if you need them. There were a couple extra things shown off. They're making some giant classic Freddys, and they also showed off this badass Freddy Fazbear mask. I'm really impressed by the moving LED eyes. That's super fun. Masters of the Universe is finally getting another live-action movie, and I'm very, very excited for it. The trailer really impressed me, so I think I'm going to be collecting a lot of these toys. There were 2 sets of figures shown off. The kids line is called First Ones, and they're $10 figures with basic articulation, but the sculpting and paint still looks excellent. $10 for these is kind of a steal, and there's also a Battle Cat in this line. I think the First Ones line is actually going to be the line I collect most, but the collector's line called Motu Chronicles is very, very tempting as well. These figures look to have incredible articulation, not to mention the paint and sculpts. I think at least He-Man and Skeletor are must-gets for me, but man, that Trapjaw is speaking to me. Mattel is really cooking, and I'm excited to see more, both from the movie and toy line. Infinity Nado is a toy line I've been somewhat interested in. It is essentially Beyblade created by a Chinese company, but the thing that really caught my eye was the launchers, which look like swords. I don't know, something about that is insanely fun and cool to me. And at Toy Fair they were showing off a bunch of products, but the thing I was super excited to see was this launcher that was shaped like a bow. It looks so cool and has a clock motif. I don't know, I really dig the vibe of this line. I don't know what the story is, but I feel like it would be perfect if it was like Kamen Rider and the characters used the spinning top weapons to henshin. I am looking forward to seeing more, and who knows, I might cover these in an entire video one day. Last thing I wanted to talk about is Mattel's DC action figure line, which I think looks really good. These figures are probably in the $12 to $15 range, and have pretty good articulation and some fun accessories. I'm not really into McFarlane's stuff, so I'm actually really interested in this line. Though Mattel did get the collector's license as well, so we will be seeing their version of collector grade action figures in 2027. I think the Batmobile Mattel was showing off is really cool. I like that it can open and Robin's motorcycle can combine with it. That's so fun that I might buy a Batmobile for the first time in like 20 years. I also like the character lineup they had, though I would like to see some female characters as well. But man, the Joker Batman looks really fun, and I'm also digging the mech suit Batman, as well as the John Stewart Green Lantern who comes with weapons and armor. Overall a good first showing, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the line. So all in all, Toy Fair 2026 was not the most exciting event, but there were some awesome things on display, and there were plenty of toys that I just couldn't get to in this video. Let me know what you think of the Toy Fair showings, Transformers or otherwise, in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. And if you'd like to support me further, I have a YouTube membership and Patreon. For $1 a month, both give you the same thing. Access to my backlog of members exclusive bonus videos. And side note, I'm about to start a members exclusive podcast where I interview other content creators. In the podcast, we chit chat about toys, content creation, whatever. Episode 1 will feature Diamond Bolt, and is going to come out as soon as I can edit it. So very soon. Let me know what guests you'd like me to have on the podcast. And by the way, becoming a member also gets you an invite to my super chill Discord server. Alright y'all, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!